WagerTalk today. We have a great show. A ton of betting information is coming your way. We're going to tell you exactly how to bet the Xavier, Texas game, the FAU Dayton game, the Creighton, Louisville game. We've got golf bets for you for this upcoming golf tournament. We got an NBA prop bet, a UFC bet, a tennis parlay. Art DiCesare is joining us. We're going to tell you exactly where all the sharpest money is going in tomorrow and Friday's first round matchup. And we're going to end the show with the great Gianni The Greek. I'm Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk. Welcome, everybody. Hit that like button. Send the universe some love. Let's make some money. Bryan Power, I would think that was one of my best intros ever. Holy crap. Way to go, Prez.
I was very impressed by that. You said a lot. You got me fired up for the show. And wow, I'm just happy to be here, Prez. Leading off, and hopefully we can help the people here with this NCAA tournament. I don't know about you, but I am chomping at the bit for Thursday to finally get here. I was telling you off air, during football season, it's normal to wait a few days, and just think and ruminate about these games. February, it's the daily grind. You pick a game, it happens. You pick a game the next day, it happens. Now, hey, I'm locked in, and it's just let's get some of these things right, man. Thursday can't get here soon enough.
Well, listen, I don't rush days. Everyone is precious. I only have a certain amount on this planet. So I'm happy it's Wednesday. Wednesday can take as long as it wants. Don't you worry, Bri. It's coming. It waits for no one. It's almost there. Let's get into a hockey game. You know what? Let's talk hockey. I love hockey. Hockey's the best. Screw college basketball. Let's focus on hockey. So there's a hockey team called Xavier, and they're playing Texas. They're playing with a round ball. It is considered basketball. Look at you, happen to have one, and that's your stress ball for dealing with me.
It is. Yes.
How are we betting this Xavier Texas game, brother?
Yeah, of course. While we are waiting for Thursday, there are these first four games, and Xavier and Texas is an interesting matchup, Prez, for all the hand-wringing that took place over North Carolina being included in the field of 68. These two teams are both 10 spots lower than the Tar Heels in the Ken Palm rankings. Texas is a team, interestingly enough, I cashed not once but twice as a 5% play during the regular season. Each of those instances, though, were more about me feeling the Longhorns had a situational advantage. I don't think that's the case here against the Xavier team that had won 7 straight going into the Big East tournament. We all remember how the Musketeers' last game versus Marquette in the Big East tournament ended. They hit that half-court heave to cover the spread. But unfortunately for them, they still lost by 2 as 2.5-point dogs. But remember, they were up by 14 in that game. So we're talking about a team that's won 7 of 8, and in the lone loss was up double digits. You contrast that with Texas, guys. This is a team that was just 6-12 straight up in SEC play during the regular season. Yes, the SEC was certainly the best conference in America all year. Yes, Texas had a couple nice wins in the conference tournament. But let's not forget, less than a month ago, they lost to South Carolina. That's not good. You throw in the fact it should be a partisan crowd tonight for Xavier. This game's being played in Dayton, just 50 miles from their campus. I would play the Musketeers. I know we've missed the best of the number. If you're more juice tolerant, maybe throw it in a money line parlay with something like Purdue tomorrow morning. But I think Xavier moves on, Press.
This is the world we live in, guys. If we're more juice tolerant. So instead of saying if you're an idiot, which would offend someone, we say if you're more juice tolerant. Okay. So there you go. If you're more juice tolerant, hey, why don't you just take Xavier +9?
I'll tell you what, if you can find me a place to bet Xavier +9, Prez, I will happily bet there.
At -3,000?
Oh, well, okay. Maybe not now. I don't know. I didn't know what you were offering.
Aren't you a little juice tolerant?
I'm not that juice tolerant, Prez. I am.
Okay. Speaking of juicy, you got a money line bet for us on Dayton against Florida Atlantic. This game goes today as well. Fill us in.
Yeah, NIT. And the good news, Prez, you don't have to be that juice tolerant to get down here. I like FAU in this spot. Another team I cashed with not that long ago. As a matter of fact, their regular season finale here at home, the Owls were 4.5-point favorites. That's where I took them. They easily won 81-53 over East Carolina. Got off to a good start in the AAC tournament as well, beating Charlotte. But then this was interesting. FAU, despite a rest disadvantage, was a favorite in the quarterfinals against Tulane. Tulane was off a bye. FAU had played the day before. FAU loses that one outright. Tonight, though, back at home, they've had a few days off. I think they're undervalued, basically a pick'em price against a Dayton team that I think it's fair to say was largely a disappointment all season long. Dayton's had to go to overtime. 2 of its last 4 games, they fell behind by double digits in the A10 tourney, a game they ended up losing to St. Joe's. Similar to that game versus East Carolina that I spoke of earlier, Prez, I just think this is a good spot to buy low on FAU at home. Just play them on the money line. I think minus 115. Owls should get home and advance in the NIT. Remember, this is a home game, of course. All the first couple rounds are home games in that tournament.
Bryan Power joining us, everyone. And guys, you can watch Bryan and miserable Mark Zeno every day at 10 p.m. is when you tape, right? You tape at 10. When does the show go up?
It depends on Zeno's schedule. He is a man of many media outlets, as he likes to remind me, Prez. So depends on his schedule. But yes, the show is usually available. It is called The Morning Wager, so we're always up in the morning time. People can check that out. It is a fun time. 3 free plays every single day.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a great show, guys. A real laugh with incredible information, and it's short too, in the 20s. So check that out every single day. A Morning Wager, Bryan Power and Mark Zeno. Bryan, let's turn our attention to the first game that starts off the madness. 12:15 Eastern time. Creighton is playing Louisville. It all begins. How do we attack this game?
Yeah, so I don't have a very good feel on the side here at all, but I do think the over is worth a shot. We've already seen the total move from 144.5 to 145.5 at one of the sharper books, which is interesting because Louisville is a team that comes into the NCAA tournament 22-12 to the under for the season. But the thing is, Prez, there have only been 2 Louisville games all season where the total closed below 145. And both of those were against Virginia, who, as we all know, plays at one of the slowest paces in the entire country. Both of these teams attempt a lot of threes relative to their total number of shot attempts over the course of the game. And then you have to consider this. Creighton, number 2 in the country, guys, in 2-point percentage. Louisville's 19th from inside the arc. So there should be a decent amount of scoring here. I like the over, 145.5. I'll keep that short and sweet.
Brilliant stuff. Bryan Power, guys, Bryan's had an outstanding college basketball season. He's going to brag in 2 seconds. You can get all of his madness, the NIT, and every other tournament that is happening. If they make up a new one, the QZF, it'll be included in this package. It is only $149. To give you perspective, Bryan's daily package is $29. So this is $149 you get every single college basketball play until the national championship game. And Bryan, you really have been killing it, right?
Save for last night, not the start. Like a lot of people, Prez, I woke up on Tuesday and said, you know what? I think San Diego State's getting too many points. No, that was not the case at all. But the good news is, and I always say, I know you feel the same way too, Prez. When you lose a game, I would prefer to just be dead wrong and know in the first 10 minutes, you know what?
Yes.
I done got this one wrong instead of waiting for 2 hours and at the end getting screwed. So we got that one wrong, but still it is a 41-22-2 all sports run. We're 35-19 our last 54 in college hoops, up 54.6 units, Prez, the last 30 days.
That is bloody good, Bryan Power. Guys, check him out over at WagerTalk, Bryan. You are the best. I can't thank you enough for doing this. Guys, please make sure to watch him and Mark every day. That show is absolutely spectacular. Before we continue with college basketball, and today is going to be a heavy college basketball show, we're going to talk a little bit of golf with Nick Borrman, a scratch golfer himself and an excellent bettor when it comes to this sport. Nick, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello, Prez. How are you, sir?
Good. Yeah. So somebody logged on and forgot to turn the ringer on their phone off. You wouldn't happen to know who that person might be, right?
I do not know.
No.
I do
No.
not know.
What? Definitely wasn't Nick Borrman. That's for sure.
No,
Nick,
absolutely not.
let's start right off the bat with an outright winner. We got the Valspar Championship. Last week, you or somebody gave out Rory McIlroy. So this show just keeps making people money. Now you got an outright winner. What is it?
Yeah, last week's players was awesome tournament. So hopefully we'll get another good one this week at the Valspar. I'm circling in on Shane Lowry this week, which is not much of a surprise. He's normally pretty good during this Florida swing. He's drifted as far north as 35-1. So I love that price on him. Few people love this Florida swing like he does. He's finished inside the top 20 in all three events so far. And while this tournament represents the least exposure for him as far as past history goes in the Florida swing, he does have 2 starts here, including a tie for 12th in 2022. Going back further in his current form to the playoffs last year, so that's last August, followed by the fall. In the fall, he plays kind of the DP World Tour. So in his last 14 starts, Lowry has 12 top 20 finishes. His irons are elite. He ranks number 5 in strokes gained approach in this field over the last 12 months and number 3 over the last 6 months. And while it's obviously early in the season, Prez, he ranks 7th this year, strokes gained approach, 8th in total strokes gained, and 4th in proximity, which is your distance away from the hole after your approach shot. With this being a second shot golf course, Andy and I broke this down pretty well on the golf show this week, so you can view that. But this is all about the iron play, and Lowry kind of fits that mold. So 35-1 in the outright. If you want to back him up, you can get plus 360 for a top 10 or plus 180 for a top 20. I think those two will definitely come to fruition. You didn't need a lot to go right to get the outright winner actually right, but I think he's going to be in the mix on Sunday, and that's all you ever ask for.
There you go. And some hedge opportunities there as well. If we can get him in the mix for Sunday, a plus 3,500 Shane Lowry outright winner at the Valspar. Okay, my brother, you got a matchup bet for us. What's that?
Yeah, matchups have been doing great 4-0 run the last couple of weeks. And Jake Knapp is a name that I like this week over Taylor Moore. So full transparency, Taylor Moore's odds are boosted because his lone PGA Tour win came at this event 2 years ago. So I think that's, it puts his price tag, not where it probably should be based on just pure form. He is playing okay so far this season. He did have 2 top 10s earlier on in January and February, but his most recent starts, including the Florida swing, nothing better than a tie for 33rd, over his last 3 starts. Opposite of him, so he's kind of been a guy that started a little hotter and then it's been trending down. Opposite of that, Jake Knapp has been getting better every single week. He had a quiet start in his first 4 events of the season, but since he's finished inside the top 25 in 4 straight starts, including both Florida swing courses that he played. And you would argue that his skill set, he's a bomber, right? He's not necessarily the best as far as approach goes, which is the Florida swing is all about approach. So he had a top 25 finish at the Players last week with that skill set, and at the Cognizant Classic a couple weeks ago with that skill set. So it's hard to think that it's not going to continue here, even though it is supposed to be a second shot golf course. I have these guys ranked pretty evenly, Prez, so minus 110. The fact that we can get plus 110 on Jake Knapp, I think presents pretty good value. But I love the way he's playing his form right now. I just think Moore's odds are a little inflated because of his one win here.
Nick Borrman, what do you have to promote?
Right now, we have a great golf promo going on. It's all golf tournaments the next 4 weeks through the Masters, which is the important one, of course. $49. So that's all 4 weeks, all 4 tournaments, every play up, including through the Masters. That's 5%. That's everything. $49. So a little over $10 a week, basically. So that's available right now. You can get that through this weekend, and then MLS in full swing, Prez, full season package, $399. That goes through December for the MLS Cup final, going for 7 straight winning years. So definitely my bread and butter there.
There you go. Guys, don't sleep on Nick Borman's MLS. One last golf bet on Erasmus Nergard Peterson, another hyphenated name that drives me absolutely freaking bonkers, but well, whatever. We'll see 3 generations from now if they're still enjoying these hyphenated names.
The Norwegians tend to do this. But yeah, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson is a name nobody watching this show right now probably has heard of. So I'll educate you a little bit. Though I'm going to say this, he just got onto the PGA Tour. His first start was just a few weeks ago at the Puerto Rico Open. He finished runner-up. He dang near won the event. You go back further, though it wasn't against PGA Tour competition, he did have 3 wins in 2024 on the Challenge Tour, which is the second-tier tour in Europe. So basically like the equivalent of the Korn Ferry Tour if you follow enough golf here in the States. But 3 wins is evidence of a very high ceiling for this young guy. If you go back to his starts this fall when he made his way onto the DP World Tour, which is formerly the European Tour, he's finished inside the top 20 in 7 of 12 starts, including 4 top 10s. And then again, runner-up in his lone PGA Tour start just a couple of weeks ago. That finish earned him this start this week and is going to continue to earn him starts where, it'll take a little bit of longevity to get his PGA Tour card, but he's on his way. But at odds of 100-1 to win, will he win? Probably not in this field. But top 10 plus 750 and top 20 as at plus 330. And that's including ties. So those numbers are important when you're betting a guy that's, kind of lower on the odds board. If he finishes tied for 19th with 5 other guys, you want to get paid in full on those. So make sure to do the including ties on this. But I do think he can play well this week and probably give us a good chance, most realistically, at that top 25. But Rasmus Niergaard Peterson. Remember that name.
There we go. Yes. At one time, he was son of Peter. Nick Borrman, everyone. Outstanding stuff, brother. We'll see you next week. Let's keep this show moving along. We got Andy Lang coming up. Art DiCesare from the Westgate to talk about where all the big money is going in tomorrow's tournament, day 1, tomorrow and Friday. And we're going to end the show with Gianni The Greek. I got a really strong NHL play up tonight. I lost my NHL play last night. I had the Rangers in regulation, and my God, did I get that game wrong. An absolutely piss-poor performance by them. And in a spot where I expected great things. They were well-rested. They were finally rolling. They had finally gotten themselves into a playoff spot. They were playing a tired Calgary Flames team. And, man, I mean, we were like midway through the second. They had 7 shots on goal. A complete mess of a handicap. But I'll bounce back tonight. I absolutely love my play. Only 2 NHL games going. So check that out. Andy Lang, every day but Monday. How are you, my brother?
Doing good. Doing good. Small winning day yesterday. So nothing to complain about. Bankroll just crossed 80 units for 2025. So bankroll's doing good. Clients are happy. Life's good.
Excellent stuff. Let's get into it. We got Art and Gianni next. You're always fast. NBA, you got a bet for us on Tobias Harris.
I like that subtle, you're always fast, which translates to hurry up. All right, let's talk Tobias Harris over.
Hey, just so you know, I'm skiing with Robbie Dixon today. Now, you probably have never heard of the guy, but feel free to Google him. Yeah, I'm skiing with one of the best skiers on the planet, so hurry up.
One of the most unnecessary name drops I've ever been a part of. But shout out to you. All right, let's do Tobias Harris over 5.5 rebounds. I don't know where this rebounding surge has come from, but over in 7 straight games, 11.8 rebound chances per game in those 7, and he gets a great matchup. The last 10 games, Miami's giving up 44.4 rebounds per game. That is 17th worst in the NBA. This is not a Miami team that seems motivated to play well right now, so we're going to take Tobias Harris over his rebounds.
Now that was fast. Excellent stuff, Andy Lang. UFC doesn't get better than the name Gunnar Nelson. I mean, that is a spectacular name for a person in a combat sport. You like him over Kevin Holland? Why?
I wish Gunnar Nelson would fight more often. He's fought twice in 5 years, but this is a Kevin Holland that I just can't take serious. I don't think he takes himself serious. He's more concerned with being funny and collecting fight checks than he is about winning and improving. He's lost 4 out of 5. This is his 9th fight in 2 years. He fights a ton. And he just got submitted in January. And in October, he had to quit in a fight because of a rib injury. And he got submitted by a guy he really shouldn't have been submitted by in January. And instead of saying, well, let's get back in the training room in the gym and let's get better, instead he just takes another fight 2 months later. This is just not a guy that I want to bet on. Gunnar Nelson is a grappler and a wrestler. He's going to try and get this to the ground. Kevin Holland has been bad on the ground in recent fights, so I think this is a bad matchup. I'll take Gunnar Nelson to get the win. Plus 200 by submission as a sprinkle that might be worth your time as well.
Andy Lang, 140 people watching us right this second, 39 likes. There are 100 people,
Awful.
and this is only in one. This is only in one stream. We have thousands of people across all the streams, but on YouTube, the like button is crucial to the algorithm, and 100 people deem this show not worthy of a like, even though they are 21 minutes into it. Wow. Okay.
Shame.
Yeah. I need to calm down.
Let me calm you down with the tennis parlay. That's always good.
That's always
meditating.
Yeah.
It's like meditating. It's very calm.
Tennis
let's
parlay.
Let's do a tennis parlay. We need to start talking more tennis here, Prez. We're up 73 units in the since last July. This has become a cash cow. So we're going to do a parlay with Fonseca over Tien and Sun over Sheriff. Fonseca was one of these new bright stars. He's got top 10 potential, been a cash cow for bettors all season. This is pretty fast conditions. He's got a really good head-to-head record versus Tien. He's won the last three, and Tien's just got a weak serve. I think the pressure is going to be too much. And then Sheriff is just the ultimate fade. Lost 16 straight matches on hard courts, never beaten a top 50 player on hard courts in 21 matches. She's the ultimate fade right now. Parlay those, and you should have a nice little parlay that'll cash for you tomorrow.
And guys, Andy kills it in tennis as well. Listen to these numbers, man. 23-11, up 28 units his last 7 days. 35-13 NBA run. Plus 87 units in tennis over the last year. Number one in MMA in 2025. Number one most seen guest on WagerTalk Today. And he has a promo. 7 days. $69. That's slightly under $10 a day. It's around $6.91 or something like that. Anyway, Andy, I love you. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, brother. Let's keep the show moving along. The great, the wonderful, the dude with the good hair and excellent beard joining us from the Westgate, Art DiCesare. Look at you, dude. Let me join you.
Prez, I love it, my man.
Yeah, it looks like we're both doing the same thing, Art.
Oh, you said it a couple weeks ago. I got the Pat Riley going.
Well, you've passed Pat Riley now because Pat never had the thingies in the back. But you look good, man. Love having you on. Thanks for doing this, brother. Westgate, one of the probably our best friend, sportsbook-wise, to say the least. Art, we have so much to talk about. Right off the bat, we have a guest, Kevin Cummings. He writes, I hope Prez don't cut off Art. Don't cut off Art. I hope Prez don't cut off Art when Hawk, who do he like? He cut him off last week too much. Anyway, somewhere in there is English, and basically what he's saying is he hated that I cut you off last week. Well, I will not this week. You can talk until tomorrow for all I care, Art. So, with that said, let's start right off the bat. Do you want to – let's leave all the other tournaments till the end. We got March Madness to technically the big dance. It starts tomorrow. Oh, I've asked everybody this question. Is there a long shot team we should be looking at?
To win the national championship?
Yeah, or to hedge in the Final Four.
I personally like Texas Tech. They're not crazy long shot, but they're a 3 seed. I like them to make the Final Four. I think BYU's interesting as a 6 seed. And then obviously a lot of people are going to be on the Gonzaga train. They're obviously criminally underseeded as an 8 seed. They have the third shortest odds to win their region as an 8 seed. I mean, they're ahead of the 4 seed, the 5 seed, the 6 seed, tied with Kentucky, who's the 3 seed in that region. So really interesting to look at those odds. I know a lot of people are feeling the love for Gonzaga. Obviously, be a very tough matchup in the second round against Houston, but that would be a classic game.
Art, I forgot to ask Bryan Power, and he did prepare his long shot, and it happens to be Texas Tech as well, 35-1. I also forgot to ask his bracket buster, which because he sent it all to me. It's Troy over Kentucky. What might yours be?
Mine would be Akron over Arizona.
And the top teams to avoid, Bryan Power liked St. John's and Michigan State.
I'm definitely on the St. John's train because that's them losing in the Sweet 16 to Texas Tech. So I don't hate that. I mean, listen, if you're in a bracket, I think avoiding picking either Duke or Florida win the national championship. I mean, if those teams don't win the national championship, you'll probably win your bracket if you do okay, because it feels like everybody's picking those two teams to win it all.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, let's get into where all the really wise, talented, and extremely successful bettors, where's their money going for round one, both Thursday and Friday?
Sure. Let me start real quick with the first 4 games because, there are 2 of those tonight. So we saw pretty good Xavier money. Xavier opened 1 against Texas. We're now sitting 3 on that game. And under money in the American game, 133.5 to 129.5. When you're looking at some first round matchups, some things that are happening, BYU, very sharp money, -2.5 up to 3.5 against VCU. I think the Sharps like them in the altitude in Denver, kind of going up and down in that game. Same thing, Wisconsin and Montana, 149.5 all the way up to 152. That is sharp. Mississippi State, who was a slight dog, they were catching 1. They're now 1.5 against Baylor. That's sharp money. Grand Canyon, +11.5 against Maryland. That got all the way down to 10, now back up to 10.5. So there's been a little bit of buyback on Maryland. When you look at some public stuff, Drake's pretty public. UConn's very public. Kansas is very public. High Point seems to be pretty public on a money line, taking on Purdue. That's kind of the plus money that everyone seems to be taking. And one more sharp I forgot about. UCLA, we opened them 4 against Utah State. They're now 5.5 in that game. Sharp action.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, what about some future bets? Houston still sort of leading the way?
Well, for us right now, when we look at like the top teams, Florida's the number 1 team we want to avoid because there are people who got down to 80-1, 60-1, 40-1. We would do okay. We would do okay on Houston. We would do okay on Auburn. We'd be a slight loser on Duke. But when you look at those top 4 seeds, Purdue is really the big team we want to avoid. Even when you get to the 2s, Tennessee would be okay on, St. John's would be okay on, Michigan State would be okay on. So right now, out of like the top tier teams, Florida's the biggest loser for us because their odds were so low at the beginning of the season, where Duke and Auburn, teams like that, they were at the top of the charts regardless. Right. And listen, we would get killed on UConn, and UConn's not going to three-peat. We know that. But, UConn got to a point where they were 100-1, and there were people who were just betting them because, like, okay, we'll bet UConn because it's 100-1. UConn's not going to three-peat, but UConn would not be a good result for us.
Art, while this is all going on, how much lower, if anything, will NBA bets at the counter be? Like, is this... Are you going to be taking less NBA bets, or is it pretty much same old as the tournament starts?
It's same old, business as usual, and it's not like limits get cut or anything, but not that right now that the public is betting the NBA, because obviously they are focused solely on this tournament, and even some of the smaller tournaments, and even some of the women's tournament, but when you get to the NBA, the sharp guys are going to continue to bet it. You see totals move 3-4 points like they always do overnight. So it's not like we're saying, oh, now because of the tournament's happening, we're only going to take a nickel or a dime on things. No, normal limits.
Yeah, so basically just volume of bet it goes up. NCAA betting goes up, but it doesn't really affect NHL or golf or MMA or NBA betting.
No.
Yeah. What about CBI, NIT? Anything there? Any big bet we need to know about?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, there's a couple. Like, there's one tonight. Dayton's playing FIU. Total open 151. We're at 154 now. That is sharp action. And then an interesting game that's kind of gone back and forth. Sanford and George Mason. The early money was on Sanford. We got all the way down to 6. Now there's been buyback. We're back to the key number, or not the key number, the opening number we had of 7.5. So we actually have 2 separate groups, one on the dog, one on the favorite. Not a lot of times that does happen, but that seemed to happen in that game. Bet it down to 6, bet it back up to the original number of 7.5.
What's going on at the Westgate during the madness? Are you redecorating?
No, it's just going to be busy as usual. You know that. It's going to be wall-to-wall coverage, everything going on. Obviously, at this point, a day before the tournament, all seating's booked. There are still some open seats available in the first couple of rows when you come to the sports book, but everything else is pretty much jammed up. This is a good week if you're here in town, a day early like today to get signed up for the apps. You don't have to wait in lines, all those type of things. I think that's the best, kind of avenue to go down. So you make sure you get your bets in.
Art, we just brought Bill Crackman into the fold. How do you feel when he walks up to the counter?
This is how I look at it. When a sharp, respected guy who has great information like Bill comes to our window and makes a bet, we love that because we look at it as that is information we can use to book that way. Now, he'll tell you like anyone else. Does he win every bet? No, but his information's good. Numbers move, markets move, and it's really good to have that information and to book that way.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so the Indian Premier League. We have a cricket handicapper now with us. Nothing.
Nothing. We don't do any cricket, Prez. I'm not saying that won't change at some point, but right now, no shot at cricket.
Okay, fair enough. And the odds of Prez killing himself on the skeel in the next 10 days?
Oh, I hope it doesn't happen, so I'm not even going to put odds up on that.
I love you, Art DiCesare. What else? Have I covered every topic we need to discuss?
I think we've covered everything. I love it. We broke down some NCAA tournament stuff. And for that guy who wrote,
who do you like? Who do you like?
That's probably what he wants. He probably wants a bet. So I'm going to give you my favorite bet of the first round. I'm taking Liberty +7 against Oregon.
There you go. Mic drop. Get out of here, Art DiCesare, everyone. Make sure to say hi to him at the Westgate. Oh, my God. We love the Westgate, and we love Arthur DiCesare. What a fun show. One of our listeners wrote, Prez, thank you for the free picks in NHL. You are smoking hot. Great call on Anaheim over the total yesterday. Thank you, man. I won both. All of them I've given out so far this week, but I only have 2 NHL games to look at tonight, and one of them is a bet, so I got nothing for you guys, but instead I will give you my college basketball client play, and that's Xavier -3. So I'm on Xavier -3 tonight as a client college hoops play. Gianni The Greek, my brother from another mother. Did you get a haircut?
Oh, no.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure,
Actually,
dude.
before the weekend, I did. I think I went Thursday or Friday. A little trim.
You know what? I don't even know, honestly, and I say this with no malice. I don't give a shit, and I don't even know why I asked. Your hair,
what are you mad at me for?
How did the blackjack thing go?
Amazing. This group of guys, we had 30 people there. I was surprised. That good thing there's not more than that. Because it's like I want to be able to answer every question. But yesterday we set the foundation to then take it to the next level. These guys are on top of it. They had the right questions. That was key, that I saw that they were grasping it because they were asking the right questions. And like I said, there's no foolish question. I want them to be as competent as possible. The only thing I ask them is now they got to practice. You got 6 days to practice and come up with any new questions, because next we're going next level. Prez, I was pulling out, like sharing some of the tricks that if I wrote a book, I swear to you, I had told myself, I'm not going to add these. Like, I don't want this edge to be taken away, but I want these guys to get so good that they're the first class, my first time doing it, that I'm going to teach them everything. Every ace I have up my sleeve, I'm going to give them for that course, brother. So it went really well to answer your question.
That's so great.
Nice night as well. Nice 3-1. Hit the $5 4%. Coming in hot for this March Madness. I'm so excited, and fire to 5% for Thursday. It's only my third one, Prez, of the 24-25 college basketball season. 2-0 so far, looking for the 3-0 on Thursday. So make sure you bet. Give me that good luck. You're going to like the play.
Yeah, well, guys, it sounds like we've got a featured play for tomorrow. And are you expecting a line move against you? Like, should they be racing over and buying that play right this second?
If there wasn't so much public money during the tournament, I would say rush. But I think the public's going to go opposite me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's why you'll still be able to get a fair line. But I wouldn't wait. The only way it is going to move is in our direction. So there's no reason to wait at all. And also, on my Twitter, if you go, I put out my bracket. Greek_gambler. I put out my bracket. I have Auburn Tigers to win it all.
Works for me. I love their coach. Gianni The Greek joining us, one of the best sports bettors on the planet, a man that runs money for many syndicates all over the world, as knowledgeable a bettor as you'll ever find in your life. Gianni, give us some info for tonight's college basketball slate and some of tomorrow's, because there'll be a few games that'll already have started before you and I talk.
Yes, sir. Real quickly, 3 NBA games that I isolated for you because these are true positions, and that's 5:30 Orlando, 5:34 Miami, and Orlando +3, Miami +5.5, and 5:40 under 229.5 Philadelphia, Oklahoma City. Those are legit positions. They're not waiting because public, even though on the other side, these were soft numbers. We took advantage of that. College basketball for tonight. 7:07 under 131 Mount St. Mary's and American, and then 7:09 Xavier -1.5, -2, and some money line action. So they're not afraid to bet the favorites, just like yesterday with UNC. They're coming right back with Xavier tonight. 7:18 Florida Atlantic plus the 1. 7:19 over 128.5 Furman North Texas. 7:27 Loyola -2 and 2.5, and finally 7:11 over 157 UAB St. Joe's. A couple for Thursday's action. Okay, 773 over 145, 45.5, and 46 VCU versus BYU. And then 757 over 143.5, 44 all the way to 45 Utah State UCLA. And then what else do we have? This is Friday action. 780 Mississippi State -1. And also I gave it out as a free pick. Vanderbilt against St. Mary's. Vandy at +4.5 and 4 against St. Mary's. That's a Friday game. So you have some Thursday, you have some Friday, you got NIT for tonight, and also March Madness tournament for tonight. I took a percentage of all these, so I do want them to win, but I only released so far 4% best bet on tonight's NIT. Isolated a nice best bet, a really nice total that I like for us, and a tennis play. And I sent in some Grand Prix, the Formula One China Grand Prix, the sprint race. I sent some to see if customer service has time to send them out to subscribers, because those are definitely not in the back end, just like the tennis play was.
Right.
But, I give it out. Let me give you the free tennis now. It's a 3% play. I'll give it to you guys. They did put the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix is in there, and it's got a plus 825 on there as well. So maybe you want to take a peek, Prez.
Nice.
A little bit. Where's this tennis play? Oh, here we go. Ready? Quarantine, Moutet, Moutet. Quarantine Moutet playing Alexander Blocks, Blockx. Laid 145. I let them know it's good to minus 155. So Moutet, Moutet, minus 145, good to 155 over Blocks. So that's a 3% premium play that I sent to subscribers. And like I said, there's even some China Grand Prix Formula One for you race fans out there in the system as well. And all the attention's on March Madness, baby. You can find some value elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm pumped, man. I plan on betting a lot of hockey during March Madness. That's for sure. Gianni The Greek joining us. Gianni, we have a listener that asks the same question every day, and I never get to answer it. So let's take a shot. XRP going up or down. Now, let me just say really quickly, Gianni and I might have a different strategy when playing the crypto markets. Mine is to buy and forget. So, when people say, Bitcoin went up to 106, don't care. Bitcoin is down to 83, don't care. Tell me what Bitcoin is in 10 years' time. That's what I care about. I feel exactly the same way as XRP. So if you're playing long term, I wouldn't touch XRP. 10 years from now, XRP likely won't even exist. But if you're going to play short term, there might be some money to make. Gianni, your thoughts?
Yeah, if you want to buy XRP right now, here's what I would wait for. I would wait for a drop, put a buy order about 161. You should be able to get in at least at 195, 196 when it drops, because there's always a drop. You know that. It gives you opportunities. That's what the crypto market does. They leverage, take out all the longs and all the shorts. That's what the institution's doing. They end up with free crypto because most small investors are leveraged. Right. They're leveraged to the top or they're leveraged to the bottom. They're betting one way or another. So the institution brings it down to max pain. That's what they call it. What's the max pain price? And for XRP to get down to where it's at the bull market support band is right around there, 195. So if you see 195, I would jump in and hope that it goes against you a little more and put another buy order at about $1.65. At that price, you're gold. Ride that. If you're looking to trade, swing trade that, hold it for months to a year, you're going to make some money if you get in at those prices. At these prices right now, above 250, unless you plan on holding it, for 5+ years, like Prez is saying, I don't think you're buying, at a great price. It's above its bull market support band. It's going up through fib levels. So it's you're not buying at the top, but you're getting pretty close to the top. The highest it got to was what? $4. It got to $4. So you're buying it at $2.50. You know what I mean? It's not the worst price. It should reach that break all-time highs eventually. But I think you're going to have to hold it for a while if you're buying at $2.50, $3 range. But if it drops down and it always gives you the opportunity to get in 195, 165, I think you'll be able to make money in a shorter time frame.
Yeah, well, and I agree, but I'll tell you this, and then we're going to end the show. If you're playing the long-term crypto game, which is what I'm playing, it's Bitcoin and nothing else. If you're
100%.
playing
you honestly, everything bleeds against Bitcoin. Just look at their pairs. I look at pairs all day. That everything ends up bleeding to Bitcoin. They all do.
But it's not only that, Gianni. It's that most of these coins are going away.
100%.
And as the banks and the governments are coming up, this is an industry that is formalizing in front of our eyes. It's being regulated. It's being organized. And as such, it's going to need a backstop. All currencies need a backstop. Gold was the backstop for thousands of years. Yep. The U.S. dollar is currently the backstop now. There are many countries.
3,000 an ounce. I've been yelling for the last year at 2,000. It's not supposed to go up like that. You weren't supposed to make 50% on your money in a year. If you make 10, 15% on gold, it's a good year. So it tells you just how weak the dollar's getting. And you're right. Yep. That's going to strengthen Bitcoin. I mean, that is going to strengthen. I'm 90% Bitcoin. That's my strategy. 10% on the Ethereum, Solana, a little XRP.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm 90 right now. I'm 90+% of my stuff is in Bitcoin. 100. I could not agree with you more.
Great show, everyone. Gianni, what do you got to promote?
4% best bet in NIT. Probably be some more in there as well. My 5% for Thursday. I have a Friday package up as well. And in that Thursday package is 2 futures. I already have 2 futures, one to make the Sweet 16 and another to win the national championship. And I may add one more future by the end of today. So if you like betting those, make sure you get in for the Thursday package. Like I said, you're also getting the 5% big move that we're hoping to stay perfect for in 2024, 2025, brother. Thank you.
That's the show, everyone. Awesome stuff. On behalf of Bryan Power, Andy Lang, Nick Borrman, Art DiCesare, Gianni the Greek, the best producer in the game, Dan Alexander, he paid me. I'm Lawrence Presman, and we'll see you tomorrow.